It is the truth in me proven through the only valid contest this country has ever known, triumphing even over sabotage and misdirection. Okay, so, my core arguments, what really proves my point is more of a genetic argument. And that is where I started to use other arguments to prove my point. Because in many ways, to describe it in a way that people can swallow is more, you know, compassionate than to insist on this kind of genetic argument, which certainly needed to be said. So my main argument is genetic superiority, with the Spirit of God having chosen me through my bloodline. Not by default superiority, but a mix between nature and the spiritual nurture of the Creator. Okay, God chose me through my royal family that became that way from rising in the martial arts spirit. It's the reason why my dad is shaped the way he is. It's the reason why my grandpa is in a martial arts stance with martial arts apparel on. It's the reason why Igbo rituals are martial art rituals. The Leopard Society is a martial arts society with a lethal grace for authority, and it connects directly to Ra. So this is the Narmer bloodline. It is like the leopard having to explain why it is a more efficient killer than the turtle, for example. And you see this in Western culture, for example. You see the owl and the turtle being used. Because if you look at the spirit animals they've chosen, if you will, they reflect that they do not truly understand the martial arts structure. Anyone who doesn't even choose the leopard by default is an inferior martial artist. Anyone who does not choose the falcon by default is an inferior martial artist. It is like choosing a slug as a martial art animal. If there's a better one and someone has really focused on that and it has been established in Egypt, why would you choose these other animals? You are accepting second-class martial arts existence, and if you insist on exclaiming your martial arts superiority, right, by default, you're in a state of dishonor. Okay. The leopard, principles of the leopard and the falcon are what creates the superior martial artist, the skywalking, the footwork, and so on. And even in their popular culture, Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, it's pretty straightforward. The leopard is the standard, the herald symbol of the lion, and of course leopard, and it's right there in the wordplay, and draw-o-l, right, draw-o-a-l, and so on. So I am where to look because of my tribe and father's achievements. If the greedy ones did not cheat me, if the greedy ones did not beat me, and they did not, why not? What is left but to stand with me and obey the end of true life, which is here, and I am the last one with true life in them. You know them by their works, and their cheating to sabotage people like me and my fathers, incomparable triumph leading to my pure spirit is unmatched. Who else could close the gate? If you do not trust the racist sex cult's books of Mormon, how much more the Bible, interpreted by them and not corrected by me? So who made the Book of Mormon and why? What kind of people were they? At what point in history were they? How racist were they? How sexually immoral were they? What are their works? So when you look at their works, you have to consider obstacles. If somebody ran a mile and he does it in 6 minutes, someone else runs a mile in 6 minutes and 10 seconds holding, a 50-pound weight. How stupid is it not to consider that weight? And anyone who does not consider the obstacles of people like my father, who comes from Africa, speaking English as a third language or so, becoming one of the only black brain surgeons during his time, and you compare his martial arts physique to Ben Carson, for example. He's a big 6'4", black guy, 250 pounds or whatever he was, okay, big old arms, and he does surgical movements without technology. Okay, you can see this guy, the leopard, is the surgeon. You look toward the surgeons for families. You look toward martial artists and surgeons, and you look for certain traits. You look for righteousness. You look for intensity. You look for certain traits that martial artists look for, and it leads you to looking to my father, and then you look for those traits in his son, and if his son becomes a martial artist, you look to beat him. It is now the burden of proof is on the non-royal family martial artists to prove that they're better. Okay, people would argue that, hey, the burden of proof is on, a martial artist saying he's better than Brandon Lee to go beat him when he was alive. Why? Because his father's Bruce Lee. Well, my bloodline is more superior and more intense than Bruce Lee's. Okay, it's big, coordinated, surgically striking black guys. Okay, he's from an elite family that got that way by, you know, making money, right? His father was an actor. My father was a brain surgeon, huge black guy from the Leper Society. You look at boxing, right? Chinese boxing, gun fu. Okay, who dominates boxing? Black people. Who conquered who and sold who to who, right? And who stood up for them? Okay, with morality intact. By the time you look at into your Igbo history, if you know your history, you'll know that you look to Eri first in all martial arts. For the top martial artists, you must look into the followers of Horus, the followers of the Kwa, the Hawk backwards, the Eri cult of the Igbos, Obi. Obi all asked, right? Where do you ask? Who should all ask first about who the top martial artists? Where should they look? It's right there in the word obelisk. Obi all ask. Okay, you're out of your mind if you don't look first toward my family. That is the royal family of the Eri cult center. There is no way around that. You must look to them first. And then when you see me setting world record speeding strikes, you see them hiding from my 4,004-year challenge, at one point making $100,000. When you see them obeying, in the least, they were obeying those who could not possibly present the top martial arts because they do not deal in righteous indignation, but energy of this world. To make the argument that energy of this world is superior to righteous indignation is a fool's argument. Look at, have a fight between two people of similar skill. One of them, you know, who are not martial artists, for example. One of them deals in worldly energy and is fighting for some selfish idea. The other one is fighting for protecting their family. Just like in the movie Robin Hood in Western culture. It says, one man defending his family is better than 20 English knights. Is this not something that we all understand? So martial arts systems that aren't based on focusing righteous indignation must be inferior to those that are. And so the rest is a walk in the park to do the genetic argument of physical prowess and so on and so forth. And in Nigeria, the most populated place, a kind of pressure cooker for martial arts and so on and so forth. I mean, there's so many reasons I'm right. And I've made a whole a series about it. And I haven't even covered the tip of the iceberg of the obvious reasons why the burden of proof was on them. They failed to meet it. I am the top martial artist. It is dishonorable. It is ill-gotten gains to say otherwise. And the spirit of the Lord, the spirit of the Creator, the spirit of Ra does not deal in ill-gotten gains. It deals in charitable families like my family. It deals in surgical strikes. It deals in leopard society. Leopard, the Ka of Heliopolis, the Ka of Ayunu, okay? The I of On in A, in me, okay? And it can be in you if you accept the logos, the higher logic. Even the word logos is related to the word logic. Where is their logical argument? How is conformity logical? And when you really examine this thing, UFC fighters are not making a mind-body-soul argument. Show me one of these guys who can logically say that they are the head, the top martial artist, spiritual representative of the Lord, and that UFC fighting is truly how you get to the bottom of it. Spirit, not, you know, cage fighting, okay? That is the box, that is the bull, that is the arena, the Colosseum shaped like a bull. That's how you cover the light. That's how you choke people out and act like a boa constrictor, an anaconda, right? Anna, Earth Mother, Igbo culture. You know, we can go on and on about this. Okay. So, again, you know them by their works, and cheating to sabotage people like me and my father's triumph leading to my pure spirit is unmatched. And if you look at, you know, even the Eastern martial arts, where is their argument that they're the representative of the Creator because of righteous indignation? They don't even make that argument. Of course, the Igbo leader emerges to martial, to order. It has everything to do with the order of society, the divine, the divine order. If they're not even making that argument and trying to take their rightful place, automatically they are void. Okay, what took them so long? If their systems are about marshaling society, then why aren't they making these arguments? If your system isn't making these arguments and you're in that system, you're void automatically. You're not in the race. Okay, who else could close the gate?